Miss Beringer,
Yes.
the rent is alleged to be $888 through July. Court costs are 55, filing fee 55.40, and a 75 statutory attorney fee. I believe that's 185.40. If we add those up, we get 1,073.40. Miss Long's question is, how did my rent arrearage get that big? What can you tell us?
We have actually had several conversations with her. Shortly after she had moved in, she didn't pay her security deposit. And then we set up a repayment plan for her arrearages, but then she would only pay that, thinking that she didn't have to pay her actual rent. And multiple times we told her that you have to pay both. If you're not going to pay one, it needs to be the one that is the arrearage amount, but you have to pay your rent every single month, no matter what. And we told her that if we needed to reevaluate the amount for her repayment plan, if it was too much for her, we could do that. But the problem has always been is no matter how many times we would explain it to her that you have to pay both and at least pay the rent, it was just, and then she would come to you with doe eyes like she didn't understand, even though it was explained many, many, many times.
Okay, can I say something?
Yes.
Okay, she said I didn't pay a deposit. I gave her April and a May when I moved in last year. And that's when they first brought it to me that I owed them $800 last year. Now I've been paying her on that. I've been giving her $150 with my rent. Sometimes my rent was short because I was trying to, like she said, I didn't understand the payment plan. But I've been paying her $150 every month with my rent since they told me that I didn't give them a deposit. When I moved in last year, April, I paid April and May in a money order.
All right, well, that may be different than a deposit. You paid April's rent, May's rent, but you didn't pay your security deposit.
She
Correct.
told me to bring her 2 months rent, April and May.
All right, that's not a security deposit.
Well, that's what she told me. So that's what I went by. And she gave me the keys.
No, it was explained to you that that was first month's rent and that your security deposit was the exact amount of whatever your rent was going to be, because we don't have a set security deposit. It's just all based off your income. So your rent deposit is always whatever your rent is. You misunderstood, which is what we have been trying to tell you from the get-go, is that it wasn't for April and May. It was April plus your security deposit, but you still owed rent for May. And that's where the whole thing started snowballing. And then you would just...
That's when I got everything all screwed up because...
Right. But even after we did the repayment and we explained to you that you owed the $322 plus the $150, you were just paying the $150 thinking that was somehow going to get you caught up, but it just kept getting you farther and farther behind. And then you weren't coming to us and giving us the money, and then you would tell us you didn't have the money. And so that's why we're here today, is because after a while you can't.
All right, I understand. Now, Meg Bauer from Legal Aid just sent me an email. She's caught in emergency coverage somewhere else. Ms. Longs, you could certainly benefit from talking with Legal Aid. I have to continue this matter at least 7 days.
Correct.
And now, Ms. Longs, you're at risk of being put out of your apartment.
Yes.
Whether you misunderstood or understood or didn't, you owe rent and part of a security deposit. We need to figure out how to get that
Well,
resolved.
they told me Wednesday when I came here, Diane gave me a paper saying I owe $1,200.
Well, that's about, 1,073.40. Now, we haven't included August rent yet. I'm gonna continue this.
Well, I am getting help with Action Agency. They had an appointment to see me.
Very good, so, very good. I'm gonna
Today, but
continue
I
this.
couldn't see them today at 1 o'clock and be here at 1:15. So
Got
she
you.
to call her by Wednesday,
Which agency?
Action Agency
All right,
in Three Rivers.
very good.
And I also talked with DHS. They haven't got back with me either. I don't know how they do everything now.
Mr. Buckland, are you available? I'm going on a vacation, so I'm gonna be gone, but I'm coming in the middle of my vacation on Tuesday, July 29th. Are you available at 10:40
Yes, that'll work.
via Zoom?
Okay.
Now, Miss Longs, that may be enough time for you to get this all situated. Today is the 14th, and I'm adjourning it actually 15 days.
Okay,
And hopefully if everything gets all squared away and they pay your rent, you don't even need to be here. But otherwise, you're welcome to come in. I like this. When people can't use Zoom very well, they come into the court, and I'm always in favor of that. Now, also, legal aid is available for advice if you wish to talk to them. But I think this is a matter of just understanding everything.
yeah,
And if you're gonna get some help from community action or somebody else, maybe get caught up and then just start at square one for August. Because I know you want to keep this tenancy. So let me repeat, we're gonna adjourn this matter till Tuesday, July 29th at 10:40 a.m.
okay,
All right, I'll see you at that time.
okay.
You'll get a notice. In the
Thank you.
meantime, have your people that are giving assistance or otherwise trying to help fund this, contact the apartment, talk to Miss Beringer. My advice to always, everybody, is stay in contact with your manager.
Okay,
All right, good luck.
thank
I'll see
you.
you.
Thank you, Judge.
Touches here are discovery matter. John Cruz versus Wyeth, as I indicated, is off because they can't find Miss Wyeth to serve her with it. My next matter is 130, which is, I've got two Copper Bay Company cases. Copper Bay. These are both continued cases. And the plaintiff has filed a dismissal. Copper Bay versus Darcy Simmons and Paul Eby, dismissed on motion of the plaintiff. I'm going to dismiss it without prejudice. That is file number 251197LT. Next one is Copper Bay versus John Fitterling and Lindsay Fitterling. We determined the arrearage was with cost $2,389. The plaintiff has also filed a dismissal of that case. So maybe they paid the rent or moved. I can't always tell. There were some other dismissals in here, I think, as well. So we have one no service, at least two dismissals. So we don't have another landlord-tenant case until 2/15. I'm gonna let this clock tick a little bit. Then we have a couple of 145 general civil cases. So I'll stay close to that.
All right, let's talk about that. This hearing with Judge Middleton had a little bit of everything: late rent, missed payments, a dash of confusion, and a surprisingly patient breakdown of how security deposits work. Miss Longs appeared as the tenant in question, and while her tone was polite and she clearly wanted to make things right, she also seemed genuinely baffled by how the numbers added up, despite, as Miss Beringer from the property management side pointed out, repeated explanations. Miss Beringer maintained a steady tone, even when describing the circular conversations they'd had with the tenant, and her explanation of the payment structure was detailed, if a bit exasperated. Miss Longs, for her part, didn't come off as evasive, just deeply confused, possibly overwhelmed. She insisted she'd paid for April and May upon moving in, but unfortunately, that payment was never a security deposit, and Judge Middleton patiently clarified that again. What stood out was the judge's balanced demeanor. He didn't scold, didn't rush, and gave Miss Longs multiple paths to work with: legal aid, community action, and even a continued hearing 15 days out. He managed the hearing with fairness and calm, even sprinkling in some dry humor about Zoom and people showing up in person, which lightened the tone just enough. You could tell he wanted to see her succeed. He walked her through each step while reminding her, gently but firmly, that owing over $1,000 isn't something that can be explained away. All in all, this was a classic Judge Middleton moment: fair, constructive, and always keeping his courtroom respectful and on track. If you found this hearing insightful, consider subscribing, hitting the bell, and letting me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every one.